What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown for UFC Fight Island 7, and it's been a while. I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I've been doing these videos, and I missed it a ton. It's been boring. My Saturdays have been awful. Just Saturdays without the fights are just not the same, so really looking forward to get back into it here. And yeah, so have 4 bets for this week. I want to talk about them on this video. As always, going to be breaking down these fights strictly from a betting perspective. Not going to get into much analysis, but if you do want to see why I'm picking the fighters, why I'm betting, I did post a breakdown earlier in the week, and then I did post a live stream as well. So go check those out. But with that said, we're going to get into it here. And as always, like I always say, I'm never going to sell my bets. All my bets are always going to be free. These betting breakdowns free, my live stream free, and I'm always going to post my bets on Twitter or Instagram. But if you do want to support me more, if you're doing extra content, now's a great time to sign up on the Patreon. The most popular option being the $10 betting option. With that, you get the model you see here, all my bets, and we've beat a ton of lines. Like you'll see in a second, like we've beat line movement by a ton for this card. I already have 3 or 4 bets posted for the Wednesday card, so hop on that. Have almost 300 members. I think we're like 15 away from 300. So thank you so much for the support, and as always, if you can leave a like, helps it a ton. 1 like goes a long way. Subscribe if you have not yet. Trying to reach that 10K goal in the near future. And yeah, so let's get to it. So the first fight of the night, Austin Lingo versus Jacob Kilburn. And this is my first bet of the night. I have Austin Lingo versus Jacob Kilburn. Fight doesn't go to decision at plus 115. Yeah, I think they really messed that lineup. It's now sitting at minus 145. I don't hate that. Honestly, I think the under is a good play as well. I think both these guys are just going to stand in the middle and bang it till one man falls. Both guys are going to come forward, try to land a hard shot, put the other guy out. I mean, at plus 115, fight doesn't go to decision. I like that line a ton. I even don't mind it at minus 145 where it's at now. I think the under is a good look as well. But yeah, so Kilburn has been finished in all 3 of his losses, all by submission. I could see where Lingo maybe hurts Kilburn on the feet, submits him. Lingo does have a couple submissions on his record there, but I do expect it to finish. The leans with Lingo inside the distance plus 130. I don't hate it, but I do think Kilburn definitely is live here for a finish as well, so I would be safe and just take that fight. Doesn't go to decision or the under there. Next, we have Sarah Morris versus Vanessa Mello. Not going to get into too much detail on this one. I mean, this is a stay-away fight if there ever was one on this card. Sarah Morris opened up a crazy minus 260. She's still at a minus 190, which is still crazy for a 6-6 fighter. Yeah, big pass here. If you guys enjoy your money, I would not bet on this fight either way. There's no props that interest me at all. This is just a big pass. Don't bet on that fight. Especially Morris is a favorite. If anything, take the dog shot on Mello, but even then, that's a long shot there. Ramazan Ameev versus David Zawada. Yeah, I think Ameev's going to win this one just by takedowns, top control, but Zawada's very dangerous off his back. We saw him get a submission off his back his last fight. He got Danny Roberts in a lot of trouble as well. Was not able to get him out of there. Get him out of there, but you know, David Zawada is a dangerous guy. He's going to be throwing more volume on the feet. I think he's definitely live. I would not really play the Ameev at minus 270. If anything, it's probably dog or pass, and it's probably Zawada by submission, which is plus 570. It's not a bad look, but yeah, definitely going to stay away here. I do expect Ameev to get a decision win, but I would not be shocked if Zawada pulled an upset, getting a finish. We have seen Ameev knocked out before. We have seen Ameev submitted before as well. Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa, and I do have a bet here. I have Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa over 1.5 rounds at minus 160. I believe that's sitting at minus 190, minus 195 now. Still don't mind that. These are 2 guys that are very tough. I know Tafa got knocked out in his UFC debut against Yorgan De Castro. Kind of ran at him, kind of recklessly got clipped there. And Carlos Felipe, I watched every single one of his fights possible. There was not one instance where it was like a one-shot knockout punch. Most of his finishes come on the mat, where his opponents are really, really tired, kind of giving up, shelling up. And also was an instance where he did like punch someone in the eye and he quit after. So I don't think that Felipe has that one-shot knockout power. I think if anything, it's going to be a knockout on the Tafa side, and that's easier said than done. Because Carlos Felipe has like a granite chin. I mean, he takes shots with his chin, takes them very well, has shown no signs of being chinny whatsoever. Very tough guy. So I do expect this to hit the over, and I wouldn't be shocked if it hit the fight that goes to decision as well. I don't know what that line is. I think it's maybe, I don't know, plus 170, something like that, for fight goes to decision. I don't hate that, but ultimately, I do like that over 1.5 quite a bit. Yaoyanwu versus Jocelyn Edwards. Yeah, I like Jocelyn Edwards here, but I liked her more when she was like plus 140, plus 150. Now that it's a pick'em fight, definitely staying away. I do side with her to win, but I don't really like the line where it's at now. If I was to play it, it probably would have been when she was plus 140, but even then I wasn't all that tempted to bet it. But give me Jocelyn Edwards here. I'm not really interested in too many props. I think the fight doesn't go to decision actually is interesting at plus 175, Both fighters are pretty good finishers. We can kind of take a look at the finish rates here. 89% for Jocelyn Edwards, Yaoyanwu 82%. And what I like for the the Edwards side is Wu's going to give Edwards the fight she wants. I've seen Edwards taken down. I've seen her controlled. I haven't seen that from Wu's game. So maybe she can take her down, but ultimately I think they're going to stand and bang. And that's going to favor Jocelyn Edwards ever so slightly, in my opinion. All right, going up, Phil Hawes versus Nasruddin Imavov. And I have a bet on Nasruddin Imavov at plus 140. He is now plus 105. So the line's pretty much gone there. At this point, I'd probably pass, honestly. I like that plus 140 a lot more. But if you do like Imavov, plus money is not bad. I think by fight time, it's probably going to be like closer to maybe 110 each way, pick 'em. So I think at plus money either way, I think you're getting a decent price on Imavov. I do think they should be closer to a pick 'em. I also really like the fight doesn't go to decision at minus 215. It's definitely going to be in my Hail Mary parlay. Probably one of my most confident picks on the slate is going to be the fight doesn't go to decision there, because I think that if Hawes wins, it's going to be in the first round, and I think that Hawes slows down a ton. Hawes has never been to decision. He's either won, he has a 100% finish rate inside the distance, or he's been knocked out, he's been submitted. He's never seen the scorecards, so I could see Imavov getting a second or third round finish. I think Imavov third round finish is like plus 1,000 something. I don't even mind taking a shot on that, but ultimately, I like the plus 140 I got on Imavov, and the fight doesn't go to decision there. Next, we have Dusko Todorovich versus Punahele Soriano. Yeah, tough fight here. I've been going back and forth in this one. I'm going to slightly edge with Dusko, but Soriano looks so good at weigh-ins today. I like the output of Todorovich. I like he's a black belt. I think that's going to be good here for him in a fight that Soriano could go for takedowns. Soriano does slow down as the fight goes on. Todorovich does not. I think the output advantage and the cardio advantage is going to go to Dusko there. So for that reason, I'm going to slightly edge him. But Soriano can crack. He absolutely can crack. And I've seen a lot of instances where Todorovich does leave his chin up in the air. I'm not too fond of his striking defense, so I would not be completely shocked if Soriano put his lights out here. But both are pretty tough guys. Obviously, both have never been finished. Both are undefeated. Some of these O's got to go, and I'm going to slightly lean with Dusko. Definitely no bet there. And I don't really like any of the props as well. Joaquin Buckley versus Alessio Di Chirico. Yeah, I like Buckley here. Obviously, a big Buckley guy. Cash big on him against Wright in his last fight. Kind of confused why he's a bigger favorite here than he was against Jordan Wright. I think he closed like something crazy, like minus 210, minus 220 against Jordan Wright, which is insane. Here he's sitting at minus 270, which I do think that's why. We have seen Buckley knocked out twice. We've seen him knocked down like 2 or 3 times in that Holland fight. And Di Chirico, he can hit pretty hard. He's very low volume, but when he does hit, he hits guys hard. And I don't know, I think if there's a finish on either side, it's honestly from the Di Chirico side. I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for saying that, but Di Chirico is very, very durable. He's very tough, never been knocked out. He did get hurt in his last fight. Could Buckley knock him out? I mean, maybe, but we just haven't seen, Chirico, knocked out before. I mean, he's a very tough guy. So I think Buckley by decision's not a bad look. Buckley by decision is plus 260. I don't hate that. I don't hate Buckley as a parlay piece. I do think he wins, whether it is maybe he does knock him out or whether he just lands more volume, because that's really not hard to do against Di Chirico. But in some type of way, I think Di Chirico's kind of live. I'd throw Buckley in a Hail Mary parlay, but not going to be an official parlay for me. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Jinglang Li, the Leech. I like Ponzinibbio here. Of course, there's question marks with the layoff, with the injuries. He's sitting at minus 300, which, I mean, could be a little bit wide. But if he comes back and looks like anything he looked like a couple years ago, I think he's going to absolutely roll here. Minus 300 seems wide. I would throw him in like a Hail Mary. I think that they made a mistake here. They set the over at 1.5 rounds. I really like the over there. The Leech has never been knocked out. He's been dropped 5 times in the UFC, but not knocked out nonetheless. So I think the over 1.5 is not a bad look. And I'll tell you guys right now, I did put that in my Hail Mary parlay. I think I got it at like minus 195, which is not bad. But hard to see the Leech knocking out Ponzi, and hard to see Ponzi knocking out the Leech, somebody that's really tough and durable as a Leech. I know he gets dropped a lot, but he's never been knocked out. Next, we have Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown, and this is my final bet of the night. And I have Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown under 2.5 rounds at plus 125. I think that's sitting at minus 110 right now, which is still not a bad bet. And just taking a look at the finish rates, I think that's a huge thing. Carlos Condit, 90% finish rate. Matt Brown, 92% finish rate. Obviously, we got to give the durability to Condit. He's never been knocked out. He did have like an injury loss where he lost by an injury a couple years ago, but other than that, he's never been knocked out. Matt Brown, his chin's not once where it was. He's chinny. I mean, he's weak to the body. I think Condit's going to finish him here. The path to victory for Matt Brown, probably taking down Condit, who has like a 40% takedown defense, and maybe Brown finds a submission. Brown does have a couple submissions in the UFC, but I don't know. I like Condit here quite a bit. I played the under to be safe, but I really do think Condit's going to finish Brown here. Condit inside the distance plus 165, I don't mind that. I think the submission prop for either guy is really interesting just because of where it's lined at. Condit by submission is plus 850. Remind you that Brown has been submitted 10 times in his career. Matt Brown by submission plus 975. Condit never been knocked out. He's been submitted 5 times. I think the submission prop from either side has a lot of value there, but ultimately I do like the under there, or even the fight doesn't get to decision at minus 140. Next, we have Max Holloway versus Calvin Keator. I do like Max Holloway quite a bit here. He is sitting at minus 160. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if I'm going to bet it or not. As of now, I'm passing. Check out my Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I will tweet it out or post it out if I do decide to play Max here, but might just pass on this. I think Max is going to win, but he has taken a lot of damage throughout his career. Calvin Keator can definitely crack. Max Holloway's never been knocked out. I think Calvin Keator, for him to win, I think it has to be by knockout. Honestly, it's hard to see him outlanding Max Holloway throughout 5 rounds. Keator by KO is plus 400. Keator's a dude that, he's been outlanded in half of his UFC fights, even the fights that he's getting these finishes. He's getting outlanded in some of them. He got outlanded by Jeremy Stevens. He got dominated by Moicano. He outlanded Dan Ige 105-84, I think. So, he's not all that impressing me, but I think this is a huge step in competition for Calvin Keator here. Could he take out Max Holloway? I don't think so, but man, Max Holloway, we can't lie, he has taken a lot of damage. But man, he looked good in his last fight against Volkanovski in a fight that a lot of people thought he won, including me. And I had a max bet on Volkanovski there, so I thought Max won the round 1, round 2. I thought round 3 was really close, but I thought Max won based off of the volume there. I thought Volkanovski won round 4 and round 5. But ultimately, this fight is close. Before getting to the tape and everything, I was looking at a shot on Keator because I did think this fight should be 50-50, and maybe it should be. But I do lean with Max, and I am picking Max to win. But as of now, no bet on that. So just to quickly recap the 4 bets I have Nasruddin Imavov at plus 140. I have 1 unit on that. I have Austin Lingo versus Jacob Kilburn. Fight doesn't go to decision. I have 1 unit on that. I have Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa over 1.5. I have 2 units on that. I have Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown under 2.5 plus 150 or plus 125. I have 1 unit on that. Those are my 4 bets. Those are probably the 4 I'm rocking with. If I do add anything, follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'll definitely get that out. And yeah, like I said, if you want to check out the Patreon, the link will be in the description below. You get the model here, all my bets. We beat a ton of line movement this week. I already have 3 or 4 bets out for the Wednesday card. Finished up the Wednesday card yesterday, and then I'm going to be start working on that Conor McGregor card as soon as Sunday. So go check that out. Thank you guys for all the support. If you can leave a like, always appreciate it. Subscribe if you have not yet, and good luck on the first card of 2021.